Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there. Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad that you're with us here today, and hope and pray that we have something valuable for you to hear that might make a difference. I've got a call sheet. It always has suggestions for things that we should talk about, but I don't want to follow that today. I want to talk about something else.
Shock.
Okay. Yeah, but here's the thing. We do this program, and many times there are so few concrete options where you say, okay, well, this is the problem, so you do A, B, C. It's not that easy for people to just have concrete options to follow. And one of the things that we don't talk about enough is, if you're not praying for this whole situation that you're in, or that you know somebody else is in, then that's, you're missing one of the greatest powers and sources of things getting better. But we come down to this thing where a person is being influenced by parents or their past, people that are unhealthy for them, and we're expecting them to wake up and become mature, responsible people. We just had a program like that, and it's just difficult for somebody to, quote unquote, snap out of it. So here's what I want to talk about. In the impossible situations, what is possible? Well, prayer is possible in an impossible situation, but also options are possible. We can present someone with some things maybe they've never thought about. Like someone that is keeping someone from being homeless might not have ever thought about how valuable the Salvation Army is, and that's a place where you could have housing. But, maybe you think that you're above going to the Salvation Army. Nobody is above that. And so, what do you think? When it's impossible and you're in a counseling session with somebody, what do you suggest that a person do in these very difficult situations?
It's a very hard space when people are looking for those quick answers.
Yeah.
And so one of the things in counseling, along with prayer, is that space of what would it look like if it were better? What do you imagine in your mind that better looks like? And sometimes people get into wishful thinking that, can be limited to all has to happen is this. Well, that may never happen. So if your focus is on that, you're going to shut down all the other options. So being curious and being creative can really help people, but it's really hard when you're sad or stuck or angry. Yeah.
By the way, you're preaching singing my music, because when somebody says, hey, all you have to do is, you just have to say, wait, I don't need to hear the rest of that. Jill, did you want to say something real quick?
Well, a lot of times there's more than one thing going on, and they might seem diametrically opposed. So there's a conflict. So sometimes we have to highlight that conflict and the different sides of a person, and look at where the struggle is. And as we highlight that, we can help make better decisions.
Yes, we can. And we'll help you make the better decision if you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you about Lumina, and then I'm going to go to George from Chicago, Illinois. And then we'll go to Linda after that. You're listening to New Life Live, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You need help. We have workshops. We'll tell you about those later, but we do want to help you. We'll be back.
Our marriage was just so toxic and just so many simple interactions that turned into conflict. And so we signed up to participate in the workshop.
This is Steve Arterburn. Our Intimacy in Marriage workshop examines the various types of intimacy, spiritual, emotional, and physical, as well as the challenges of experiencing true intimacy.
The tools that we received from the Intimacy in Marriage workshop were tremendous. It was so much that we were able to take and utilize and actually come back and apply.
Don't settle for a miserable marriage or even one that's just okay. It's possible to have that great marriage you always want.
The next Intimacy in Marriage workshop is July 28th to the 30th in Washington, D.C. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more or go to newlife.com. 1-800-639-5433.
Best decision we could have ever made. There's no price that we can put on having healthy marriages.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and we've been a ministry. We're 35 years old this November, and so much of what we've done has been with women for women. Our audience is, we have more women than men listening. We created Women of Faith, and 5 million women came. Restore is one of the most powerful things for a woman who's been hurt by a man. Well, we're at it again, and we're in a partnership with an organization called Inspire and Museum of the Bible, and we've created this event for women called Lumina at Museum of the Bible, October 27th and 28th. And if you go to this 2-day experience, it's a full day of worship and teaching at the Museum of the Bible's World Stage Theater. And then there's a half day led by the Inspire group that is a really fascinating visit and tour of the Museum of the Bible and the immersive exhibits that they have. I would encourage you to talk to whoever your women's ministry leader is and say, let's go. Let's get some women and come. You will not regret it. Jenny Allen is one of the speakers that's there. Of course, she's the founder and visionary of the IF gathering that so many people love. And she is a great, passionate leader. And she's a best-selling author. She wrote Find Your People and Get Out of Your Head. She's amazing. And then Elizabeth Woodson. She is this theologian and author and founder of the Woodson Institute. Great speakers. We've got Beth Guckenberger is going to be there. Lauren McAfee. Our Whitney Putnam is going to be working. Becky, you help produce this thing, and it's a great event. One of our people said, most perfect event for women ever seen or experienced. And you can find out about it at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com or luminawomen.com. It's a life changer. I hope you will come and join us there. Let's go to George, Chicago, Illinois. NRB Television is where he sees us. We're glad he does. Hi, George. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. A little slow, but I'm all right. Now, you called and you've waited patiently to be on, and we're grateful that you have. How could we help?
Yes, I have a neighbor that's schizophrenic, that's mean-mugging me, and I'm thinking of moving to El Paso, Texas, just to avoid him, because I don't feel safe here in my neighborhood because of him.
He has cut out for some reason. I don't know, maybe on a cell phone or whatever.
Oh.
There really is. Sometimes life is short, and sometimes you do have to move. Becky, has anybody ever had to move because you had moved in?
Maybe we need to talk later. I don't know, Steve. I don't know. But I was thinking, as soon as he said that, I thought, well, that's smart. If the problem is there and there isn't a resolution, and if somebody has schizophrenia, it can be really challenging to reason and work this kind of situation out. And so, if the option for you to move, George, I would definitely go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
Well,
I think he ought to be, that he's considering it is a good thing,
Right.
if there's nothing else that can be done.
right. The fact that you're considering it, George, means that it is an option for you. But I know a lot of people who have lived next to difficult people, and they try everything they can possibly do to make peace, to get other people involved, and eventually, like Steve, like you said, it comes down to quality of life.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not so much about who's right and who's wrong. It's what do you want to live with every day?
Right. And here's a question. George, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Have you talked to anybody about what is possible in impacting this person who is schizophrenic or not?
Yes, I call the police every time to do a home visit.
Okay.
Every time I call, it seems like something went wrong, and they go through it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if I were you, I would be calling whatever the name is of the county's social services or the city's social services to see what might else be available, rather than just limit it to talking to the police.
Okay.
And they might say, well, this, thank you for telling us. This is one of the situations where we're going to have to do some home visits here. We're going to have to really get involved with this human being. We didn't know about it, and it might get better that way.
Because if this is an unmedicated person who's causing disruption, are you the only one that is feeling disrupted? Like, are there other neighbors? Do you have any support that way?
No, because I myself, I'm schizophrenic, and I'm taking medication
Okay.
for my mental illness. But I talked to a counselor that says, if you move, you're gonna let him win. I don't know what he meant by that.
Well, yeah, I get that. But sometimes you win by getting out of the battle,
Right.
You live to have a victory somewhere else other than something that can destroy your whole life chasing after some victory. Any thoughts here, Becky?
Well,
Yeah, George, I just want you to take care of you. Don't, and so it doesn't matter what somebody else is saying as far as who wins. Like Steve just said, you will win. You have to prioritize your life over whatever game it is that somebody might think that you're playing. It's very important for you as you are taking care of your mental health, your physical health, your day-to-day, that you choose a place that feels safe and there isn't conflict. Even if you weren't having the challenges with your own personal mental health, I would say the same thing. If you're in a situation where your home isn't safe, whether it's the neighbor or the person that lives with you, there needs to be steps forward. And I think a lot of times people stay in unsafe situations because it becomes normalized. And it's just the way it is. And, we just heard a story from a woman this past weekend, and, her husband had molested her children, and yet he was able to talk her into staying in the relationship. Now, those of us who are not in the relationship, were like, oh my gosh, no, that should never happen.
No.
But don't you see that happening a lot, you guys, that,
Yeah.
people just get acclimated to the problem, and that's not a good thing. So George, I would encourage you to find a new place to go.
Well, and this isn't a competition, so I agree.
Right.
It's not about winning. George, it sounds like you have people around you that you can talk to and that can help you. And I don't know what type of situation you are living in, right? But to look at those options, and is there a place where you would feel safe? Sometimes, no matter where we go, there's a difficult person,
Right.
and
That's
it's
right.
hard to feel safe. So that's where it's working with people that you have aiding you to how can you start to feel safer on the inside? What's going on for you that you get triggered and stirred up by this person? And so it's kind of both and, like looking at your outer circumstances, but then looking at the work that you're doing and how you can improve and reduce your anxiety on the inside.
That's good.
Very, very good. Yep. So, I don't know what else we could say to you. I hope and pray that you continue with somebody that's really good working on your situation, because some of the medicines that have been developed over just the past couple of years, people with schizophrenia can really do well.
That's right.
With the right medication, and one of the problems is you get the wrong medication. That's not good. But I just want to encourage folks, if you've got somebody close to you who is schizophrenic and they're not doing well, it could be because whomever they go to, maybe they're prescribing some things that are older medications, and it is astounding what the newer medications are doing to help people. So thank you for calling. I'm going to send you Every Believer's Thought Life. I hope that will bless you there. And oh my goodness, if you're a problem to your neighbor, quit doing that. That's my big shot.
Yes, we're supposed to live in harmony, right? As best we can.
So quit it, because
knock it off.
People don't want to
People
be
don't like
moving. That's right. All right. 1-800-229-3000 for this program. 1-800-NEW-LIFE for any help. We've got counselors. We've got people on the phones there that they just want to help folks. That's why they work there. So let them. Call them at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And let's go to Linda, Vineland, New Jersey, WFIL. Hi, Linda. How are you today? What's going on?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. How could we help? What's on your mind?
Earlier.
Yeah.
Well, first, I want to say I've been listening to the New Life for 34 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and I met you, Steve, years and years ago. I met you, Becky, at the Lumina Conference last year.
How did you like the Lumina Conference?
I loved it so much that I'm bringing my church this year.
There you go. See? Yeah, I loved it too. I just, the worship and the teaching, I just thought all was really, really amazing. Glad I got to go there.
Nicole C. Mullins was my favorite.
Oh, my goodness. Wasn't she something?
She's amazing.
She's a wonderful, wonderful human being. That's all I can say.
And the hotel and just the area and everything was just wonderful.
Well, thanks for saying that.
Yeah, I
Because
was
people
going to say,
need to
we're
know
going to
from
record you,
somebody.
Linda.
Yes.
Yeah. They need to hear from people that don't have anything to do with New Life or the museum say what the experience was like. So thank you very much. Now, how can we help you today? What's going on?
Well, I'm calling. I'm wondering if I should take a stand. I have a godly friend who lost her home, her family, and her church, because of her husband's treatment of her and church hurt. This is a really complicated situation, but her husband is still working in ministry, and he has shown no real Christian behavior other than what he exhibits at church, but not at home with his family or anything. So I just want to know what I'm concerned for the church that they're enabling his sin and not supporting her. I mean, and they love her. They care for her so much. I just feel like they don't get it or they don't see it. They say that they won't take sides. So therefore it feels like they're on his side because my pastor has said he does not want to play judge and jury. He wants a counselor to do that. They did get a marriage counselor, and that didn't work out.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So, did they ask her to leave the church, or they just she just couldn't go there anymore?
her husband made her feel uncomfortable going there, and then it hurt her too much because of the pain that she feels from the lack of the pastors and leadership believing her. It was too painful for her to go there, listen to the messages and all, when she felt like they don't believe her.
Okay. All right. So, hold on. We're going to help you with this. And when I come back, I'm going to ask you this question. You can get ready for it, about her husband and what level of leadership is he in the church? Is he the number one person or level 2 or 3? So we can understand that dynamic. But we're going to do that after this break. Really hope that you'll call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and get some help.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery. And one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 Steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. So I was curious about what level of leadership is this woman's husband? How high up is he in the church?
He's not in leadership.
Okay.
He's in ministry. He just does like videography and sound system stuff. In the past, he was an elder. He was on the marriage team as, and so. But right now, that's it. Okay. Well, I can see why someone would say, "I don't want to be judge and jury," because, you know, he's not in a leadership position. So the leadership, they don't really know what's going on. They don't know if he's really as bad as she says, because he's so nice at church. And
right. Well, and he's not working with people, really.
Probably not.
As much, right?
One thing the pastor could do, though, rather than be judge and jury, he could be ear and heart and ask them to come in and sit down and have a chat with him about what they're going through. And then he could suggest firmly that they go to a really good Christian counselor. Most every pastor has someone to refer people to that's a Christian, that knows counseling and therapy and psychology more than they do. But that's something that could happen if he would just do it with them and not be judge and jury, but try to find out what's going on. Jill, you have a thought, and then you, Becky.
Yeah, I think that can be helpful, just to kind of be an objective listener. And we have to realize, and Linda, I know this is your friend, but situations and dynamics in relationships get co-created. It doesn't mean that they're equal in their offenses, but there's stuff going on with both of them that contribute to whatever dynamic is here. And so just getting people to side with one or the other isn't the most helpful. And it sounds like she's still in the relationship. Is that correct?
No, and can I clear something?
Sure, yeah.
The pastor does have an ear and a heart. He has listened. She worked for the church. She was the church secretary until she had an emotional breakdown, which she thought was because she was having memories come up from being sexually abused when she was 4. But then she found out through counseling that the emotional breakdown was actually because of her marriage, which she never realized was emotionally abusive. She just thought it was her because she had been blamed for so many years. And back to the pastor, the pastors, they have met with the two of them over the years many, many times. They have, and he does desperately want them to get into counseling. He wants the counselor to decide to be the judge and jury.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it hasn't worked out. The counselor they went to, she ended up kind of siding with the husband because he's so manipulative.
That's never good when the
you know what
is fighting with the
but you know,
therapist.
Linda, that is very clarifying, though. Is she is in a wounded state, and you started your question with, should I take a stand? And the stand that I would encourage you to take is to encourage your friend to do her work, because as a woman in an emotionally abusive relationship, she's experienced trauma. And so she's going to need some healing. And I would, it sounds like she's got a lot of instability, because you said something about their house being taken away and all of that. And obviously if she's not working, I mean, there's a lot of things that are unstable in her life, that on top of the marriage being unstable. So if you want to make a stand, I would be a very good friend, help her to get the help that she needs, as opposed to kind of going into all these other areas. It's just really powerful to get that, the restoration, so that she can start to think straight again about what she needs. And I mean, that's...
And sometimes different seasons of life, we need to walk with different people. It sounds like she needs to be with people who hear her, who do believe her, and will help her sort through it all. Because she went, Becky, like you said, from being very wounded in childhood, and she has all of that, to ending up in a relationship where someone would also wound her. And so that's important for her to sort all that through in a really safe environment during this season of time.
I mean, she actually lived with me when she was kind of kicked out of her home, lived with me for a while. I am like a huge supporter of her, but it's like, that's not enough. She wants everyone else to believe her and come to her.
Yeah. Right.
So my
Linda,
question really is, like, you don't think I should go to somebody recommended I go to an elders meeting?
No,
I'm concerned.
Well, here's the thing, Linda, here's the thing. You just said something really powerful, that it's never enough for her, and it's only because she's in a wounded state. I would encourage her to continue in counseling, but also get part of a group. We can connect her with a life recovery group just about growth and healing. And that is going to take the pressure off of you as far as being the sole resource. But yes, the church is important, but I think it's secondary to her own stability at this point.
All right, when we come back, I just want to mention about expecting too much from a church, because as teaching pastor, I've seen it over the years. I just want to talk about that, because church can only do so much. But we'll do that right after this. You're listening to New Life Live.
it had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
The Every Man's Battle Workshop is being held online as a one-day event Saturday, July 8th. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I just can't say enough of what New Life has done for our marriage.
1-800-NEWLIFE.
I have given to New Life regularly because I have so many people that I am referring to New Life who so benefit from the ministry. I just can't imagine what would happen in my area if New Life wasn't available to us.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Prayer, 100 Days of Freedom from Depression, and 100 Days of Peace. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Well, we're back. So, I have known people that have expected the church to step in and pay the bills for them when they couldn't do that. And churches can't meet that need. And here it seems like that this person, your friend, wants the church to intervene, validate her, maybe punish him in some way. And in reality, the church needs a videographer or whatever he does there. And so they're expecting somebody else to help with this versus them come in and maybe they pick wrong. Maybe they say to him, you need to do this or that, but in reality, she's overreacting. Now, I don't believe that's true, but there's so many question marks. A church doesn't want to be wrong, and they don't want to get involved with something that they're not involved with other people in the church. They want people to find the resource rather than just expect that the church is going to fix it or punish the guilty
or make
part.
it right.
Or make it right. Becky, what do you think here about this?
Well, this is an example of what we opened the program with. It's never, this is all you have to do. Mm-hmm. And there are many questions that go, but I agree totally that while the church is a great resource, and I'm a local church person, I love my church, and we help a lot of people. However, in this situation, there's more that has to be done. And there are some times that you have to go to a different church. And it's,
right.
It's a little more complicated, but I really want to just impress upon the fact that we need to support the friend's healing process. Mm-hmm. And that is going to look like maybe a workshop, maybe, emotional freedom. Maybe it is a life recovery group. Maybe it's a counselor. But it's not continuing to expect the church to make all of this go away.
Thank you. I just think that's a reality point that people might miss. Mm-hmm. And you do need to evaluate if you are at the right church or not. This past Sunday, we had the mother-in-law. I had my mother-in-law, Penny, over, and a friend. And I'm cooking, and I hear my son repeating the sermon that was presented Sunday morning, which was so excellent. And when I hear that, then I go, okay, I think this is the right church for us. And so you need to make that evaluation on whatever situation you're in. And I think that just like someone married to an alcoholic goes and marries another alcoholic, it's also common that somebody is in some kind of church denomination or something, and they think every church is like this, and they never do explore and experience anything different. So that's what we want, is for you to fix it, change it. You take the action rather than waiting for the church to do something.
Okay, so
Jill.
all that being said, Linda, excuse me, I do want to come back to your question that you were trying to get in there. Should you go to the Board of Elders and present what you believe to be true? I think you can certainly always do that. I think you just have to lower your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can go and say, I just want to make you aware of some other input on this situation that's happening in your church and how it might affect your body. And then you have to pray about it and trust the Lord and trust the leadership to do with it what they will.
I love
also,
that, Jill. That's good.
And when you go, you could go wanting to know more of what are you doing? Why
or how does this church handle these things, right?
And are my expectations right? And then you can get your point across, but you're coming more from a humble place, wanting information versus them getting the feeling that you're there to criticize. All right. Thank you for this call. Really interesting, fascinating. And I'm going to send you 100 Days of Peace, one of our great devotional books. I hope you will like that. All right, let's go to Anne Marie, Freehold, New Jersey, listens on the New Life app. Hi there, how are you, and how could we help?
Hi. My question is, my daughter, she's 13 years old. She has been struggling with anorexia for over 3 years, and we've tried numerous treatment facilities.
Yeah.
And all over, like, the country.
Yeah.
And now I now decided to put her on medications a few months ago where she was in an inpatient facility. She ended up getting administratively discharged from that facility. And we didn't
What did she do to get discharged?
She had witnessed something that a nurse practitioner had did. It was a male nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
And she had witnessed it, and it was another girl that he, like, reached for something, and it was behind her. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, it caused a lot of chaos on the unit. So that girl and my daughter, who she didn't even have an eating disorder, she ended up, both of them got administratively discharged.
Wow.
So at that point, she was on meds. She came home. We had no plan in place for her. She ended up she's now in a virtual program, but I'm still dealing with, I'm a single mom, by the way. And so with that being said, everything falls on me, and it's very stressful. My church is very supportive. I have someone that I'm working with, and we pray. Everyone's praying, including myself. And it kind of feels kind of like doom, like, in a sense, because it's like it's not breaking. She has a very strong hold on her, and she's just not breaking. So I didn't know if there was any Christian places, facilities. I do Google searches and whatnot, and I'm not having any luck, finding anything.
We have people that we can connect you with. I have a question. When you say that she was in treatment, was it specifically for eating disorders, anorexia, or was it just, not that it's just, but was it general mental health treatment?
So she's also diagnosed with oppositional defiant, and generalized anxiety.
Okay. Was she in specific eating disorder treatment, though?
Yes.
Okay. Because the reason why I'm asking this is because, it's such a complex disorder. Mm-hmm. It is so complex, but then combine it with these other things. It's expected that generalized anxiety disorder would be diagnosed with this. It's very common
Absolutely.
to connect those two, and even oppositional defiant disorder. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting with eating disorders, you are not able to get out of your body. Like you're just trying to get as small as you can. And we can't make sense of that, but that's what's actually happening. So we can connect you with somebody, but I'd love to hear what Jill has to say, because I know you know a lot about this.
Well, Anne-Marie, bless you. It's hard enough being a single mom and then to have all these issues. So with anorexia, there's a need to have control, right? I mean, Becky, you're talking about remaining as small as possible, so keeping your body from developing into a woman and staying young, right? Mm-hmm. So emotionally, they want to stay very young so that they can be cared for, which seems to be kind of in conflict with being oppositionally defiant, because you're also pushing away that care at the same time. So there's a lack of trust there, perhaps, of her environment, and a need to over-control herself and to keep what she perceives as anything bad from coming in. And so it is a hard thing, and eating disorders, you have to be prepared for the long haul. So you need to have enough forms of treatment in place, kind of addressing it from all angles, to support her and to carry her through. She's still very young in dealing with this.
Yeah. We owned the state-of-the-art eating disorder treatment center, Remuda Ranch, and I wish it was still operating from a Christian perspective. I do think, though, that there are therapists that have this unique ability to connect with a person that is anorexic in a way that other people can't. For whatever reason, maybe they had it, or maybe they just are sensitive in that way. And that's what you want to find. It's the person that can connect with the one with the disorder, and that can develop trust, and then there can be direction that can help.
And we have a couple of great treatment centers too, Steve, so we can connect her with that help.
We'll do it. We'll be back.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for your life and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and right now we're going to go to Judy from Vancouver, Washington, and she listens on Sirius XM. Hi, Judy. How are you today?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How can we help?
Oh, hi. So, back in, I think it was 2003, I caught my husband in pornography, and he was looking at men. And he went to an Every Man's Battle workshop, and he got a lot of help from that. Now, boosting up to what's happening today, he's 72 years old, and he's having an emotional affair with a 25-year-old man. And he touches him more than I'm comfortable with. He puts his arm around him. He rubs his foot. I found them in our spa naked together, and I asked them to stop going in the spa naked together. So they did. But yesterday morning, when it was thought I wasn't home, I woke up and I look out the window, and here's this 25-year-old man naked in my spa again, and that was pretty shocking. And then this past April, when we were on vacation, I caught him looking at male porn again. So at my request, he's going to be in the July 8th Every Man's Battle online workshop.
Okay.
So those are all the pieces. And my question is, what does same-sex attraction mean to me as his wife? And am I placing too much hope that one day of Every Man's Battle is going to fix this? I'm really uncomfortable, and I just don't know what my next right step is.
Yeah, the fact that he would do these things in your presence, and you're still calling it an emotional affair when two guys are naked in the spa, it surely is not just emotional. It is an affair. And it needs to be treated that way. Now, you don't want to be enabling it, but there is a limited amount of difference we can make if this husband of yours is committed or believes that this is the only way he can find any kind of meaning for his life or excitement or whatever. But you're going to have to see this for what it is and react to it and move appropriately. Becky, your thoughts here?
Yeah. Well, I just was at our Restore workshop this past week, and Judy, so I heard stories like yours. And one of the first questions I have for you is, what keeps you from putting a boundary that this man cannot come over to your home anymore?
And I think again.
Right.
Ever again.
If it were a female, a 25-year-old female, wouldn't you object?
Right. But I say that, well, Judy, wait a minute. I say that, but I also know what betrayal trauma does to your brain.
Right.
That there is this override that occurs where you're, just like what Steve just said, you were calling it an emotional affair. It's anything but that. So there are some boundaries that have to be in place, along with, he's going to do this one day, Every Man's Battle, but he also should get into sustained victory, which he could do right now since he already went to Every Man's Battle. It's not a one and done. This is a problem. This is a character reformation that has to happen. It's going to require you putting in some boundaries. It's going to require him doing some work. And it's one step, one day at a time.
So to be able to say to him, this man must never come here again. And as you go to Every Man's Battle, you better figure out how that's not going to happen.
Okay, because he sat me down a while back and he said, I want you to understand I'm not giving up this relationship because our marriage has been so bad. And that was extremely painful to me. And I thought he was just saying that to be mean to me. He's very emotional abusive, and he doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
So I just didn't believe him.
Right.
Judy, he probably does realize it. He probably does realize that he's abusive. He's got an addiction, and he is out of control. I would encourage you need help. We'll get you connected to somebody that can help you, but this is a crucial situation here. This isn't going to be, an easy fix, but for him to say things like that is abusive, but it's also addictive behavior. It's kind of like saying, I don't care what you think.
And as he dishonors you in this way, we want you to do the honorable thing so that when you look back, you'll say, okay, I woke up and I did the right thing here and I didn't enable this anymore. But hold on, we're going to try to connect you with a really good clinician that can help you.
Can we send her Sherry's book, Intimate Deception?
Yeah, Intimate Deception, sure can.
She needs that.
Yep, coming your way. Now, let me and I'm so sorry I don't have any time for any more phone calls, but we have Every Man's Battle coming up July 8th online, and then we have Intimacy in Marriage July the 28th in Washington, D.C. And once again, J.J. West, he has led this now, and then and is going to lead even more. And then he's the guy that does Every Man's Battle, and he's bringing, those men that do Every Man's Battle, he's bringing them up to the marriage conference. And it's just something that could change everything in your marriage if you went to Intimacy in Marriage, especially after you demanded that your unfaithful spouse go to Every Man's Battle. It's a great combination.
And we're going to hear from Laura Manja McDonald, who's one of our speakers at Restore. And Laura also will be your advocate as well. And I think it's going to be a powerful weekend for marriages to get healing and get a plan moving forward.
And, Laura is so strong and such a good communicator. Just being around her helps. Just hearing her talk about what she's been through is helpful. So I hope that you'll consider both. You go to Restore, he goes to Every Man's Battle. You both go to Intimacy in Marriage if there's been a really tough situation. And, this situation we're dealing with here, when he came out of Every Man's Battle, he had a plan. Everybody has a plan of what they're going to do to stay pure. And the second he got off that plan, that would have been the time to do something about it. Or if he never implemented a plan, that's when you get on the phone and say, now what do I do? Because this guy's not committed to anything that is redemptive. All right, so I hope and pray you would look at that. We've got a Courageous Parenting program online September 30th, and our Lumina works. The event for women is October 27th and 28th. We love you. We care about you, and we want something better for your life if you're struggling. And many times people are waiting for God to do what God is waiting for them to do. And the reason we don't do it is it's really hard. And I don't like hard things to do. I want it all to be easy. But it's in that difficulty that we develop character and bring purpose and meaning out of some of the worst situations ever. We want to help you in any way we can, but you have to call us first. We don't know who to call to say we heard that you were hurting. So you have to call us and make that maybe the most important call you ever make. Also, we can't do this without the help of some wonderful people to support us. And if you've never have, I'd just like you to consider putting your support here. You're listening to us in many different ways, but you can hear us on the app every day. If you download the app or go to our website or go to the YouTube channel, New Life, so many ways to hear or see us. Thank you, Dr. Jill Hubbard. Thank you, Becky Brown, and all of you.
Thanks for listening.
Thank
we
you.
hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.